Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Tuesday, January 9th. One thing I've noticed already is the days are getting longer. You know, usually I eat dinner around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it's still light out, where before it used to be dark. So I'm loving it. That means we're going the other direction, folks. The other good news is we finally got some snow. Uh, and I told you, once we get some snow, there'd be people out there trying to get their snowblower going. Then we'll start getting the calls. So we got to pick up one this morning. So let it go. We're supposed to get high winds, I think, today. 60, 70 mile an hour winds. So I thought today's video, we would kind of go over one, the videos that I put out. And then the other is how I'm approaching when to do a video as far as when it comes to mechanical stuff. So stay tuned. All right, so welcome back. What am I talking about? Well, Bob, you had made a point of, not a point, but you have been trying to help me when it comes to critiquing my videos. And what I can tell you all right now is I have so much to learn. And any input I can get from you guys is greatly appreciated. I mean, you guys are the ones watching the video, you know. You could say, well, I'm seeing too much of Claude's ass. That would be a good one. It doesn't matter as long as, and Peter had mentioned it the other day too, this is one of the very few channels you can come to and people are not being derogatory towards each other. And that's greatly appreciated. I won't tolerate it anyways, but I think we're all old enough to agree to disagree on stuff and have different points of view. And I think it makes a stronger person, a stronger man, when you listen to opposing views. Because I can tell you, more than once, I've been convinced on something that I thought, you know, was true to the core. But as I listened to somebody else and their views on the same take, but a little differently, it made me more wiser, more wisdom. You know, you should approach any conversation with anybody with the idea that you might get something back, and that's more knowledge, right? Doesn't mean you have to agree with them. It just means you have more knowledge, right? So when it comes to my videos and how I'm running the channel, absolutely critique me. And, you know, tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. Because what do I stress so much in my videos? The only way to learn is you get time. And with time you get experience. And with experience you get wisdom. Now the quicker way between your time and wisdom is if you have other people helping you with their experiences of what has worked for them and what hasn't. And that's what's great about this channel, is everybody's point of view, everybody's what they feel and think is important to me. Like I say, it doesn't mean we're going to agree all the time. And if we did, it would be a boring, boring world, right? But we're above the fray. We're not trying to pick people apart. And I'm not taking anything personal when it comes to, actually, it's a blessing in disguise to me, Bob. So any of you other guys that could do the same, I'm going to try the different camera angle with the GoPro to see if I can zoom in for you guys better. Again, this is all learning for me. I don't have someone, you know, running a camera for me. I don't have someone doing the editing. I don't have someone, you know, doing production. It's just me and my two dogs in the morning, and me and Claude when we're working on stuff. So the short answer is yes, I'll take all the help I can get, you know. And then the other thing is when I'm going to do a video on repairs. To me, it seems asinine to tear something apart that's running fine to try to show you a process, okay? So what we're actually doing is when you see a unit that I'm working on, I'll tell you if it's a customer's or my own, but what I can tell you is whether it's my own or a customer's, it's not running, and we need to figure it out. And what I'm trying to do with the videos is show you a process. Now, I know with you guys that are, watching the videos, we go from very experienced mechanics down to, do-it-yourselfers that are looking for a little bit of help on how to approach things. So what I'm trying to do with these videos is I'm trying to get it so that I don't assume, because it's easy to do. One of the things that I learned in computer programming when it comes to programming language is when you're trying to teach a computer or a program to do a certain task, you can't leave out even the minute task of go to your left 2 feet before you go ahead 4 feet, and then you go back to the right 2 feet. You have to have it spelled out. And it made me be more conscious of the process. Because I know if I skip a process, then the program won't work. It doesn't know how to work. It gets to a spot and it's okay, now what? So I'm trying not to leave out parts of the process for you guys that are just getting into it. And I'm also trying to make it so that it's not so boring for you guys that are very experienced, right? Because I like to have a little bit of something for everybody. But the repairs part of it, anything that comes in that we're doing the repairs on are actual pieces of equipment that do not run for whatever reason. And you're going to follow along and work with me to find out what the real issue is, right? That's called teaching. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm teaching, but I'm also trying to find the root cause as well. So the other thing that I stress in my videos to you guys that are first starting out or getting into it, or you guys working on your own stuff, the first thing is don't be scared of it. And think about what you're doing every step. And why do I say lay stuff out farthest to the nearest? It's so that you don't miss, which I've done before, years ago, where I forget a gasket. If you forget a gasket on a carburetor on the intake, it's going to suck air and it's not going to run. If it does, it's going to suck, right? The main theme to come away with is you should not have any extra parts left over when it's all back together. But it's just not about tearing stuff apart. It's about learning, right? Some of you guys come just for the entertainment value. Because it interests you. But you really don't want to turn wrenches, but it's something different. And you're welcome to be part of it, of us as well, and your input. And some of the other stuff that, again, I start assuming. But in the past, I guarantee you that over half my customers could not tell you the difference between a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke engine. So you need to know what you're working on, all right? And the best way I can tell you is between a two-stroke and a four-stroke is a four-stroke has oil in the base. All right, so you only put straight gas in it, and it has the oil, the lubrication from the engine and the base. Whereas a two-stroke has no oil reservoir in the base, and you're adding oil to the gas to provide lubrication for that machine to run. That's the easiest form I can think of for trying to teach someone. And when we were doing a lot of service work for Tractor Supply, one of the big issues was when they first came out with the four-stroke trimmer, we still had people adding 50 to 1 two-stroke engine oil to their gas and wondering why they were having problems. Well, now you're getting too much oil and it's going to smoke, it's going to foul the plug, it's going to plug the screen on the muffler. But we also ran into people with two strokes that thought all I need to do is just add gas and go. And they would seize up brand spanking new trimmer, chainsaw. And it's because they didn't know. And once you get a seize like that, usually, I mean, if you can get it broke loose, which we have in the past, it's never going to be right. Because you're going to get scoring, you're going to get a whole bunch of troubles. So you need to know the difference between a two-stroke and a four-stroke. That's very important when it comes to small engine repair. And it's very important when it comes to you with your equipment that you have to home. So if you go out and you look at all your equipment, if you've got oil in the base, or you've got a dipstick, where you can check to see how much oil is in the unit, that runs straight gas. If there's no oil in the base, there's no dipsticks, no like that, it's a two-stroke. Right? And then we'll start finishing up. I know it's going to be short this morning compared to my normal ones. But we also want to discuss safety gear and having the correct tool for the job. And I can't stress enough about wearing proper eyeglass, gloves where need be, steel-toe boots, but you can buy the polyurethane, so if something drops, it'll save your toes. Saved mine before. You know, there's certain gear that you need to know and be aware of that you should be wearing or not wearing when you're doing certain things, right? A lot of your polyester type sweatshirts, this is cotton, but I've seen Claude catch the whole front of him on fire with a grinder where it caught. And actually his grandson is a certified welder, and he was welding with something like that. Before he knew it, it was on fire and it had gone right into his skin, you know, and it was terrible. It only takes a split second to have something happen. Whether it be a spring lets go in the rewind, takes you in the eye, you know, or you get carburetor cleaner that splashes back if you're not wearing proper eye gear. Hearing protection, you know, when you're working on stuff, like if you're cutting firewood or trimming, even mowing the yard. Nice set of muffs or earplugs, you should be wearing them. I wear the ones that had the music headphones, the FM, so I can listen to the music while I'm mowing the yard, cutting firewood, whatever. And then having the right tools. That is a must. It's not what brand of tools you have. It's having the right tool. And the more you get into doing small engine repair, the more tools you'll add to your toolbox, okay? And I don't want you to start out with going out and spending a bunch of money on tools. I try to show you stuff that we use right at the shop. And we're not buying Snap-on. We're not buying Mac. We're not buying S&K. A lot of the stuff that you see is Harbor Freight, Walmart, Sears Craftsman is my main set that I have. But they're what I would deem as inexpensive tools compared to your big brands, okay? And the tools, the blue box that I showed you yesterday when we were working on the trimmer, I wanted that because it had the Torque T27, which is very common when you start tearing apart weed eaters and that it's a Torque, Torx. Yeah. It's not a torque, it's Torx. But that's one of the main bits that you need. And when you're working on these trimmers and stuff, it's got to be fairly long to go down in to get where you want to get it off. And I ordered this set because we have the T-handle set. But I wanted something that I could put on, like, it's not Impact Driver. Claude and I were talking about it yesterday. I may have a brand new DeWalt this morning because he was going to go up and see if they had any left. But you can put those bits right into it, and it makes life so much easier. And they weren't that expensive. I think I paid $20 on eBay for that set of torque bits with it. They had the specialty screwdriver, free, where they have the extended and it's kind of like a moon shape. And so you can get those out because they don't want you touching them, so they have it so they're tamper free. There's certain specialty tools that are in that box. And if anybody's interested in what it is, I can leave a link, in one of our videos on exactly where I found it and who I found it from. The only thing that kind of disappointed me in a way with it was I thought they were going to be longer, but it'll work, right? So safety gear and having the proper tools for the job is also a must. So on that note, you guys have a great Tuesday. We're going to pick up a snowblower. The guy said it needs a service and it's not running. So I'm going to try to do a video on that today to see if that's something that would be useful to you. And on that note, you guys enjoy Tuesday. All right.